Welcome to ControlUp's training session about on-premises installation and Insights on-premises installation. In this session, I will try to explain how to install the on-premises server, the Insights server, how to install the console, the on-premises console and on-premises monitor, and also how to install the on-premises database. Once the prerequisites are complete, download the on-premises package, and here on my server I already have it, so I will go to the on-premises package, to the on-premises server folder, and I will execute the installer as an administrator. First, we see the prerequisites that are required, such as the .NET Framework 3.5, so please add that. And we have the components list, such as the IIS and LDS. If it's a clean install, not an upgrade of the on-premises server, please assign a clean server and we will add the IIS component. Otherwise, we will overwrite the existing IIS. You can agree to the license agreement and configure a license. If you have a license, you can choose it from here. If you need a license, please fill the form and send it to support@controlup.com. If I click continue, I will save the request file, the XML file. If I choose to import an existing file, I will browse and import it. I can choose not to install the Insights server, but in this case I want to add those components. You can change the path where the on-premises server will be installed. You need to choose a ControlUp service account, which will later on will be used in the IIS as the identity of the application pools, and will also be used to run the ControlUp services. Once I have chosen the account, now I need to define the database connection details. First, which is my SQL server? I can use name or IP. So let's try with an IP, just as an example. And do you have an instance or not? In my case, I do have an instance. If you are not sure if you have an instance or not, if you installed the SQL with instance, you can go to the SQL server and try to log in or contact your DBA. You can look at the SQL server and see if next to the SQL server service you have a name. That's the instance name. Okay? In case you used SQL Express, you need to open the SQL Server Configuration Manager and go to Protocols and make sure the TCP/IP is enabled. By default, it is disabled. If you installed Express or a standard SQL server, still you need to verify which is the port that the instance is using. In this case, that's the port I'm using, and I will use it in my on-premises installer. So once I have the SQL details, the server name or IP, the instance name, the port that I need to use, the account that I want to use in order to connect to the SQL server, I can click continue. Once I do that, I export a SQL script that needs to be run on the SQL server in order to create it. Let's jump to the SQL server and see how we create that database. Let's copy the SQL script to the SQL server. Once we have the SQL script on the SQL server, I can drag and drop it into the SQL Studio. Okay? I need to make sure that my script here is focused on the master and execute it. It's done and finished successfully. In this step, we will define the Insights server name or IP, the port, and the activity files share, which is a shared folder for the ControlUp monitor to save files in, and for the Insights server to read those files and create your Insights database. Here you can define your local SMTP server in order to get email alerts. I will discuss this in a separate training session about the ControlUp console and trigger alerts. So for now I can skip. In this step you need to define your AD global security group that holds the users that can log in to ControlUp. In this step you can import your existing configuration. The configuration includes the folder structure, the computers, and different public settings. So if you have one, you can use it. Make sure that the license you created includes the same org name as the configuration you are importing. If you are importing a configuration of a different organization, the installation will fail. And I can review the settings and install. Once the on-premises server is complete, let's run the Insights server installer. You see the prerequisites, and let's continue. Agree to the license, define the installation path, define the activity files shared folder, and click install. It's important to define the shared permissions and the NTFS permissions on the activity files shared folder correctly. I will discuss this when I will install the ControlUp monitor. In this step, I will install the ControlUp console. I will use the 64-bit installation. Click Next. I accept the license. You can define the installation folder and click Install. In the cloud version, you just need to download the console from our website and launch it. In the on-premises environment, you have to do this. You have to install the on-premises console. Once the installation is done, you can click Finish. The console will launch automatically. First step, define the server. Click Continue. Accept the certificate. Click Yes. I have added few computers, and now I want to add a monitor. I can go to Home, Add Monitor, or Settings, Monitor Settings. From the monitor settings, I can click Add Monitor. I need to choose a computer that I want to install the monitor service on. The port that we will use between the console and the monitor is 40706. Once the tests are passed, I can click Next, and the monitor service is installed. In this step, we need to define a user that can connect and deploy the ControlUp agents in case you deploy the agents from the console, and also a user that can modify the activity files shared folder. So if I go to the activity files, shared folder, properties, sharing, I see that that account has sufficient permissions, and also in the security tab, it has sufficient permissions. Modify is enough. Here you can define the credentials in order to connect to your hypervisors. Here you need to basically just click next. The login mode is on premises. Proxy, it's a local environment, so I will click next and next. SMTP server if you want to define for trigger alerts. Advanced settings. All of these settings are mentioned and described in our article, how to add a monitor, in our support center. You can access it if you browse to support.controlup.com. Once done, you can click approve and OK and finish. The monitor will connect to the configuration server, which is the on-premises server, the LDS service on the on-premises server, and every 30 minutes, about 30 minutes, it will export files with data to the activity files shared folder. And the Insight server will take those files, will index them, and then the data will be available in the Insights website. Next step is to import the SBAs, the script-based actions database. Copy the SBAs folder and script from the on-premises installation package. Drag and drop the SQL script, and here you just need to make sure the path is correct and execute on the ControlUp database. Once finished, you will have the SBAs in the ControlUp console. To summarize, we installed the on-premises server, we created the ControlUp database, we installed the on-premises insights, and added a monitor. Now just to review, if I go to the activity files folder, we can see files are being created, they are being exported by the monitor. If I go to the Insights web page, let's see. Are created. To review the installation, making sure everything is fine, I am going to Settings, Monitor Settings, and I'm checking the status of the monitor. Everything is fine. It's uploading data, meaning it is exporting files into the shared folder. If I go to the shared folder, to the activity files shared folder, I can see files in here which are being exported. Let's go to the Insights web page. It's best to give the monitor at least few hours to export the data and for Insights to import the data in order to see the information in Insights. That's it. Thank you very much for your time and good luck. If you have any questions, let us know at support.controlup.com.